Here we go. And it's over to Marquette's Bo Ellis. Butch Lee, Jimmy Boylan are the two backcourt men. Very deliberate team. Takes their time on offense. Ellis, hook shot, no good. Yannick clears the board, over to Ford. North Carolina trying to hustle down. Ford to Kuster. Clever playmaker also. Yannicker, who's come fast the last month as a freshman. Walter Davis. Kuster inside to Davis. Davis to Yannicker. Bottled up. Ford raises his man. Off-balance shot. In the lane. 3-second violation. No basket. And we'll be picking a player to receive the new Gillette Track 2 Most Valuable Player of the Game Scholarship Award. $5,000 goes to his school tonight. North Carolina has the all-court press on. Bo Ellis coming up to help. Now Butch Lee, a clever one-on-one player, gets it across the timeline. They exchange on him. Kuster's covering Butch Lee. Ellis with Yannicker on him. Ford ties him up, jump ball.
Kurt is talking with some of the coaches here in Atlanta who are here as fans. They feel the key to the game is whether Marquette can hold off North Carolina early. If the Tar Heels get the lead with that four-corner offense, they're going to be terribly tough to beat. But should Marquette get the lead early and able to hold it through the first half, they might pull off that big win for El McGuire.
Ellis controls the tip to Butch Lee. Double team, gets it away anyway. Karam's out of bounds. It'll be North Carolina's ball. Both teams a little tied here, Billy.
Yes, they are a little tight. I'm really impressed so far in the fact that Boylan's been able to stay with Phil Ford. I think that's the big matchup defensively for Marquette.
John Kuster, Davis out of the corner. There's the freshman O'Corn. And a foul has been called on Bo Ellis.
Here's an interesting matchup also. We're going to see that it's going to be Bo Ellis on O'Corn as opposed to Davis. Now, O'Corn is really good at drawing fouls. You can see him inside, and Al McGuire cannot have Ellis in foul trouble. I thought he'd probably put Neary on him. Kind of interesting there. Good call by the ref.
At the line, Michael Corn, just a freshman from Jersey City, Jersey. 3 more tremendous years ahead of him. The first point of the game, he scored 31 on Saturday against Nevada of Las Vegas, his high of his first year at North Carolina, missed the second one. Both are excellent free throw shooting teams. North Carolina made 75% of their free throws this year. Marquette 77%. Bo Ellis, man-to-man right now for North Carolina. That's the center Whitehead on a high post. Ellis shoots over. He hits it, and the score is 2-1. Marquette. Bo Ellis gets the first basket. Down court quickly. Kuster feeding Yannicker. Jump shot. Yannicker in and out. Battle on the rebound. And a pushing foul. Might be on Bo Ellis.
It is, Kurt, and that means that the top forward perhaps in the game, Bo Ellis, has 2 fouls in the first minute 38 seconds. That's a critical blow to the Warriors.
North Carolina takes the ball out. Remember, for new college fans, after 16 fouls, the team gets a bonus situation, a one-on-one. So early team foul trouble.
Kurt, Marquette goes to a zone right away, obviously to protect Bo Ellis.
They're in a 2-3 zone right now. They have all kinds of zones. Houston's out in front. Now North Carolina will try and overload it, move the ball, float the baseline. There's Davis. 2-1 to score. Marquette leading. Yannicker comes out on a high pivot. Kuster fires. Kuster in and out. Bo Ellis picks up the loose ball. Butch Lee. Notice how deliberately they come down. They're never in a hurry. They're not a fast break ball club. Lee goes around Ford momentarily. Gets tied up. Lee gets it off. No basket. Foul is called on number 24, Walter Davis, fouling Butch Lee.
Oh, the quick hands of Butch Lee. Watch the hands of this 6'1 All-American for Marquette. He loses control. He gets in the heavy trees, but he never loses the feel for the ball. He's always in control, rips it away. That's a combination of the great hand-eye coordination plus the strength of Butch Lee to get the shot away.
He's from DeWitt Clinton High School, the Bronx in New York. He's just a junior. He has started 87 of the 88 games that Marquette had his first 3 years. He missed 1 with an injury. A starter right from a freshman. 3-1. Marquette leading.
Kurt, I think it's interesting that Al went to that zone so early, and to be quite honest with you, I think that plays a very good move for him for the simple reason that forces North Carolina to occupy the ball a little more. They can't run and shoot.
Marquette trapping them. They get it out to Kuster. Look out from behind. It is stolen away by Jimmy Boylan. A turnover forced by Marquette. 4-1, Marquette leading. 2.5 minutes gone. Jerome Whitehead inside to Ellis. Ellis loses the ball. And a foul call on Walter Davis. And that's 2 on Davis, so 2 of the top players in the game have an early 2-foul situation apiece on them.
That's the bad news, Kurt, but the good news is that they're both very intelligent players, and they can be handicapped early and still play the full 40 if needed.
Marquette will inbound it. Jimmy Boylan, the little playmaker, who transferred from Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts. Strange recruiting story there. Whitehead's up. Ellis missed the tip. Boylan has it. Boylan losing it over to Yoniker. Bill Ford, watch it go. Ford in, hits the layup. 4-3, Marquette. Ford gets the first North Carolina basket. Nobody goes baseline to baseline any quicker than he does.
Now North Carolina going into a zone of their own, Kurt. 1-3-1, but they'll match up off of this zone as they did against Las Vegas.
This is what they call their point zone. Ford stays out in front as the point man, covering the outside shooter. 4-3, Marquette ahead. Now Marquette brings it out, wants to spread them around a little bit. Set up. They're sending Butch Lee inside of the corner. Oh, they nearly lost the pair. 1-3-1 zone for North Carolina. Lee looking inside. Flipped out to Bo Ellis. Ford gambling on a steal. Right back to Lee again.
Kurt, there's something that may be a factor in this game that has not been announced. Butch Lee is wearing a heavy wrap on his right thigh. He did not have that on Saturday.
I'm not seeing him with it. You're right, Dick. Working against the Carolina zone. Lee off to Neary. Neary seldom shoots. A loose ball. Picked up by Phil Ford. Yoniker of North Carolina. Torres. Traveling called on Michael Torres.
You talk about the overdrive for the playmaking guard. Here's Ford. He gets around Lee, and then he really turns it on with the ball. Beats everyone down court to score the only field goal for Carolina thus far in the game.
North Carolina substituted 33 times against the Bat of Las Vegas. That just put in their first sub here, Steve Kraftsisson, number 54. And he has replaced Yoniker. Marquette in the lead, 4-3. A delivered game so far for the National Collegiate Championship. Now North Carolina coming out crowding them on a man-to-man. They'll change defenses every 2 or 3 minutes. Whitehead on the high post, lets it go. O'Corn grabs the rebound off to Kuster. Carolina to the attack to Kraftsisson. Kraftsisson fires it. And North Carolina has the lead 5-4.
That's exactly what Al McGuire does not want. He's on a little better shot selection. Jerome Whitehead's not the guy he wants to take an 18-foot jump shot.
The ball right now, there's a turnover with it. Double dribble called on Boylan. And we're going to have a timeout on the court with a score. North Carolina 5, Marquette 4. Some beautiful weather here this week. It's been raining outside this afternoon and this evening. All the fruit trees are in bloom down here at Spring in Georgia. It's been lovely. North Carolina's ball. Coming into the game is Tom Delegaris for North Carolina. The steal is down to Butch Lee. Lee roaring for the layup. Lee's up and twists it in. And a foul is called. Here's the basket count.
Here's the key of anticipation by Bo Ellis. He got that lead ahead to Lee, and the players today are so acrobatic, Kurt. I wonder if you did that back at Wyoming. Those hang and double pumps and score and get a foul, too.
Well, we were thinking about it. I think ever since basketball was invented, they've had to have some kind of moves, but they're just better now and bigger and stronger. 6-5, Marquette leading on Butch Lee's drive in. Davis, Yoniker has replaced Kraftsisson in the lineup. Davis cross court, that's always a dangerous pass. Ford up, flipping it off to Yoniker, goes, it's blocked by Bo Ellis. Fine defensive play by Ellis. Jimmy Boylan, the playmaker, brings it down, covered by Kuster. Lee out in front, Ford's on him. There goes Boylan. Turnaround jumper. He was off balance. He's falling backward. Fast break by Carolina. Gister holds it up. Walter Davis, jump shot. Davis off the mark. O'Corin tips it back to Davis. Davis flips it to Ford, nearly threw it away. Now North Carolina, come on, let's set up. They like to run a passing game. Move the ball, move the ball. Keep that other club hustling on defense. Davis up again. Can't hit it. Batted back to Gister. Carolina hustling on an offensive backboard. Ford to O'Corin. O'Corin lets it go. He can't hit it. And it's still Carolina. Yoniker up. And they kept it alive. They kept the pot boiling, and Yoniker hit it.
That's like a 2-error inning in baseball. You can't give the extra outs and hope to get out of it cleanly.
North Carolina leading 7-6. Nearly 7 minutes gone. Deflected away by Yoniker. North Carolina a slight favorite in this title game. Coming in will be Dudley Bradley, number 22. And also checking in again is Tom Zalagaris. Dean Smith believes in plenty of subs. Keep them fresh. Keep them coming on. Let everybody play. And the entire squad is motivated. Al McGuire does not believe in substituting. He only plays 6 or 7 men a game. He goes for his big guns and stays with them. Two complete opposite theories of bench coaching. Lee, turn around. Whitehead tried to rebound it. Picks up again. Look at that, Lee's all over. Jimmy Boylan. A foul is called on Phil Ford. That'll be North Carolina's 3rd team foul. Marquette has 3 team fouls.
Here's Big Jerome Whitehead now. He's a primary rebounder for Marquette. Bo Ellis a secondary rebounder, but both of them great. This is quite action in here. Butch Lee showing his strength. Dudley Bradley knocks it away, and then Ford steps in. Good call by the official. Boylan hustling all the time. Al McGuire wanted to foul earlier. Look at him.
He's trying to get a sympathetic ear from that.
Smith can't help him.
Well, what you're finding right there is when one official is going to be talked to by those coaches, the other guy wants to be in there too.
I'll tell you what I think they're talking about. All the coaches and players have been complaining about the ball being slippery in this tournament. For some reason, they've been losing it on their dribbles, catching passes, and it's been a slippery ball. And Dean Smith was talking about that tonight. They can't understand why it's so, but it is. Marquette's ball, North Carolina ahead 7-6.
Another change in defense, Kurt. A half-court 1-3-1 trap.
Nothing happened there. There was no contact. Lee's out in front. Jumper up. He hits it. Marquette's back in the lead. There's a seesaw back and forth. 8-7 Marquette. 6 points for Butch Lee. It looks like he's on for one of his nights. Bill Ford out in the corner. Bruce Buckley slipped into the game. Number 40. 2-3 zone for Marquette. The shot outside by Zalagaris. 9-8 North Carolina. 12:30 to go in the first half. Boylan across. Both teams have a couple of clever dribblers and shady direction players. That shot a beauty by Jimmy Boylan. 10-9. Boylan and O'Corin used to play against each other in the playgrounds at Jersey City. But the press did not bother either team tonight with the playmakers they have. Zalagaris to Ford. Dudley in the corner. Marquette sliding on the zone. Boylan picked it up down to Butch Lee. Traveling call on Jimmy Boylan. It'll be North Carolina's ball. And Michael Corn is back in, number 31. Going out, Bruce Buckley. McGuire promised that he wouldn't get a technical tonight in his last game. We'll see what happens. Bill Ford against the zone. Ford penetrates to Walter Davis. Davis is up. Won't go for it. O'Corin's up. Slapped away. Beautiful by Whitehead. Gister's up and no good. The follow again inside by O'Corin. And look at Carolina. This is twice they've been up for 4 offensive rebounds.
You think these kids don't want that pumpkin? Watch Whitehead. This is the old rejector as he fly swats it away. Out of nowhere, just like a cobra out of a box and slapping it back outside, and then the ultimate jump ball.
Dick, that's playing above the rim. O'Corin will step in and jump against Neary. O'Corin should control the shot.
Excuse me, Kurt. It should have been Boylan jumping.
That's right.
Now the referees are getting it straight.
North Carolina in possession. They're behind by 1. Ford outside. Davis taps it back to Ford. Ford runs with the ball as he started for the lane. Traveling call on Phil Ford, Marquette's ball. And we have a change now for Marquette. Larry Rosenberger steps into the lineup, number 55. Bo Ellis against the zone trap brings it down. Whitehead on a high post. Rosenberger from Milwaukee, a junior. Ford on him. 10-9, Marquette. Bill Neary has been ordered many games not to shoot in a game. How'd you like to play under those conditions?
He likes to play regardless, Kurt.
Lee Wade. Ellis steps on the baseline. North Carolina's ball. Ellis also traveled with it. Coming in now is number 42, Jeff Wolf for the Tar Heels. Going out, Rich Yoniker. Wolf's also a freshman from Kohler, Wisconsin. That's something. 3 freshmen playing in the NCAA championship game. Bill Ford down against the 2-1-2 zone. North Carolina having trouble getting inside. Butch Lee nearly swiped that one. Huster. Davis to Ford. There's O'Corin. He hits it, O'Corin. Puts North Carolina ahead 11-10. Michael O'Corin now has 3 points.
Kurt, we played nearly 10 minutes, and the lead team has only 11 points.
I figured it was going to be like this. Marquette's delivered game, and I think North Carolina did too. Rosenberg, a long one. A 25-footer by Gary Rosenberger. Marquette leads 12-11. Far different than the Nevada-Las Vegas North Carolina game Saturday, which is like a couple of fire trucks going up and down the court. Huster. Boy, quick hands in that Marquette team. They scratch his crotch. A foul call on Rosenberger. And before we come back here to the court side, we'll take a timeout. It's Marquette 12, North Carolina 11. In the semifinal game, his team beat Michigan State in another triple overtime. They really won it the hard way. North Carolina's ball. They're trailing by 1. Marquette ahead 12-11. Marquette staying in that 2-3 zone. Went right to the zone after about 4 minutes in the game. Jeff Wolf back to Huster.
Kurt, they changed up at that timeout. Now they're going 1-2-2. Al Figure and Dean Smith made an adjustment, so he makes one. We've got 2 brilliant coaches out there.
Bill Ford penetrating, missing the hook. Wolf up, can't get it. The rebound is pulled down by Jerome Whitehead. And here comes Marquette very slowly down. Bernard Toone, T-O-O-N-E, number 33, has come in for Neary. That'll give Marquette more board power. That's Bernard Toone right there. A sophomore, he has it. And the score is 14-11, Marquette. Marquette's big under the boards, very powerful. One of the better rebounding teams in America. And that 1-2-2. The point man out in front is Rosenberger. Ford up with his jumper. He hits it. The score is 14-13. Bill Ford. I think North Carolina is going to have to start hitting around that perimeter. Get Marquette zone. Lee, fall away jumper. Oh, sensational. 16-13. Those are the kind of shots he was putting in for Puerto Rico against the American Olympic team. 35 points he got up there at Montreal. Davis right back. 16-15. Walter Davis, Marquette in the lead. And now they're starting to warm up on offense. 8 minutes to play in the half.
Excuse me, Kurt. One Olympian countering the other's basket.
Move out to Bo Ellis. Butch Lee feeding Whitehead on a pivot. Spinning off. Short, follows, brings it out. Rosenberger up. He hits it, but a foul had already been called. No basket.
We're going to see Jerome Whitehead. Right now, Al McGuire really has the threes in that lineup. Whitehead in there, Bernard Toome and Bo Ellison, both off the offensive boards, and in that zone defense of theirs, they really are powerful. On that particular foul, O'Corin really was overmatched size-wise and had a lot of trouble, Kurt.
Foul on O'Corin. 4 team fouls on Carolina, 4 on Marquette. Butch Lee just got it away from the gambling Phil Ford. There's Bernard Toome out of the corner. Rebounded by Bo Ellis. Ellis up. He has it. 18-15, Marquette. Now Marquette gets tough on their offensive board. North Carolina trailing by 3. 7.5 to go in the first half of the National Collegiate Title game. Davis. O'Corin. Ford. Short jumper. Playing that bad elbow. There's a hold underneath.
It's on Whitehead.
Jerome J is his nickname, Jerome Whitehead. He had the big game in the semifinals, 21 points, and the winning basket against the University of North Carolina of Charlotte. Tom Zalagaris checks back in for North Carolina. 5 team fouls now on Marquette, 4 on North Carolina. Zalagaris, Waller Davis. Steal by Bo Ellis, right back again. Waller Davis has it. Davis to O'Corin. Missed the layup. Whitehead's up. Goaltending call. Whitehead's up on the rim with his hand.
Slapped it right off the front edge of the iron, Kurt. Judge for yourself, fans. Here's the shot. Whitehead in his eagerness to rebound the ball. O'Corin shot trickling off the front lip of the rim. Watch it now. We have the perfect angle. Yep, it was up there.
Well, the basket counts. It's 18-17. Marquette in the lead. And they walk it down. They have 6:40 to go in the half.
Excuse me, Kurt. What they're going to do is sit on that ball, force North Carolina to play man-to-man because they want Butch Lee to have a chance to go one-on-one.
There is Butch Lee going one-on-one. That's why they want him to do it. You see that very clever stop-and-go dribble? Watch this stop-and-go dribble. Billy will explain it to you.
Well, good stop-and-go, and Al McGuire, pretty good coaching move right here. He saw North Carolina go into his zone, and he said, baloney with that. I'm going one-on-one with my man. Come out and play him. And he's a tough man to play one-on-one.
Butch Lee got Zalagaris to hold up on his stop, and while Zalagaris was stopping, Lee was blowing around him. Butch Lee already has 10 points. Now he has 11, and Marquette has their biggest lead in the game, 21-17. There's 6.5 to play in the first half. Marquette sticking in their 2-1-2 zone. Outside, Zalagaris. Bo Ellis clears the board. Marquette's ball. Ellis, Whitehead dominating the backboard right now. Ellis driving. Too hard on his bank. Whitehead stolen away from O'Corin. Bernard Toome fires and hits it to score. 23-17 Marquette.
Things could not be going better for the Marquette fans, Kurt. They were afraid Carolina would get ahead early in the game, but they've been able to hold off the Tar Heels.
Ford. There goes Davis passing underneath. In the lane, 3 seconds. Waller Davis was checking back in. Yoniker, and it's going to be Marquette's ball. 5:36 to play in the half. Marquette leading by 6. North Carolina with the all-court press. Ford hanging on Rosenberger.
That's a big foul, Kurt.
That is. That's on Davis. 3rd foul on Davis, and the 16th foul on North Carolina. Every foul after this now on North Carolina, Marquette will be in a bonus situation. It'll be Marquette's ball out. Waller Davis with 3 on him. And they take him out and put in Dudley Bradley. Have to get Waller Davis out of there right now. They may not see him the rest of the half. Lee working on Schuster. Lee, baiting. No good. And O'Corn let that slip away to Whitehead. 25-17, Marquette.
That's 7 straight points for the Warriors.
There's the Marquette rooting section. Each school was allotted 1,000 tickets, and each school applied for 5,000 or 6,000 down here in the Army. This has been a very tough ticket. This tournament has been sold out for months. Next year's tournament will be in St. Louis. Ford. North Carolina can't solve this Marquette zone. Can't get inside. There's Ford shooting outside. He was hurried by Rosenberger. O'Corn is fouled on the follow shot. And they're really hustling out in front, Billy Packer, on that zone. They're getting that hand up in that shooter's head.
Well, they are, and the real key for that zone are the 3 big guys across the back line. That means that they're out on the wings when it's a 1-2-2. And as you say, Kurt, it's very difficult to shoot over a guy that plays at 6'10", as Ellis and Whitehead and Bernard Toome do.
Michael Corn at the line, shooting 2. 25-18, Marquette.
Looks like the key for North Carolina, Kurt, to get back in the ball game is to go to some kind of full court pressure, whether it be man-to-man or zone, to force the tempo a little bit.
Bo Ellis up there to pick off the rebound, hands it over to Butch Lee to bring it down. Lee has Schuster on him. Lee jammed by Schuster, slapped out of bounds. It'll be Marquette's ball in. And we're going to take time out here in the Omni along NBC to tell you the score. Marquette 25, North Carolina 18. The high in this game for North Carolina, Michael Corn with 6. Butch Lee is the high point of the entire game with 11. Marquette's ball, Whitehead on the high post. North Carolina going after him. Double trying to trap Butch Lee, the hard man to trap. Lee slipping by, short jumper. Rebound up by Bo Ellis. Ellis has it 27-18. Bo Ellis has started every game since he was a freshman. In his 4-year career, has 6 points. Now a 9-point lead for Marquette, playing almost perfect basketball. Making very few mistakes. Schuster's shot, he hurried it again. They're making Carolina hurry around the perimeter in those 20 and 25-footers. They're really hustling in that zone. And a zone is only as good as the men that slide quickly and hustle from side to side. Can't stand it. There goes Ellis. For Whitehead. Whitehead is tied up.
That's going to be a foul, not a jump ball.
Might be on Bradley. Bradley was in there. Well, they call it on Schuster. Schuster was down on the floor, and Bradley was behind him. So we'll have a bonus situation now, 1-1 for Jerome Whitehead. He is not a good free throw shooter. He's made only 55%. He drove that one, 28-18. Steve Kraft-Sisson comes in to replace Rick Joniker. Jerome Whitehead has 3 points in the game. Now here's the bonus shot.
Dean Smith predicted that Marquette was one of the great rebounding teams in the country, and that's been the difference this first half, Kurt.
And he also predicted they'd slow down on him. 29-18, Marquette, the underdog, leading by 11. Bill Ford brings it down. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Still in that 2-1-2 zone. Sometimes at the 2-3. Dudley Bradley outside. He has it to score 29-20. Dudley Bradley, a sophomore from Edgewood, Maryland. North Carolina pressing. Marquette, Bo Ellis handles it with ease. Off to Whitehead. Jimmy Boylan. Whitehead, Ellis, back door. He has it. Great feet off. Whitehead had eyes in the back of his head that time.
And Kurt, that's just right out of North Carolina's book. The old backdoor play. Watch Ellis now. As Whitehead hits him on the breakthrough, and Ellis is so thin and so quick, he slides by and avoids the charge. He has a chance for the three-point play. Oh, he is lightning in a bottle. Bo Ellis.
He is the star. Al McGuire has only one star every year, and he builds it all around a senior star. He says Butch Lee has to wait till next year. This is what a McGuire calls his star this year the senior, Bo Ellis. And Bo can't get it. Up on the board with Michael Corn, 31-20 in favor of Marquette. Carolina, Schuster trying to move that ball. Here's a foul. Ford can't handle it. Schuster has it knocked away. Ellis picks it up. Right back again. He nearly lost it. Keeps it. Milwaukee. Marquette slows it down.
Well, is that Ellis playing a game at both ends of the court? He's just wiping the glass clean.
There's Bo. Corn on him. Look at him maneuver. Corn had a hand. He lost the ball, Ellis, that time. It'll be North Carolina's ball. One of the few turnovers that Marquette's had.
Here's the isolate on Ellis, the senior. Does he want to win this one for himself and Al McGuire? He's giving it all he has.
North Carolina back to the attack, trailing by 11. Ford jump shot outside. He has it, 31-22. Bill Ford now has 6 points. And that's what North Carolina is going to have to do to beat Marquette tonight. Hit some of those 15 to 25-foot jumpers. Change of pace dribble by Boylan. Out to Whitehead. Whitehead declines the shot.
That's an indication of some strategy by McGuire because Toon normally would have pumped that 20-footer.
Toon comes way out. Near steal by Michael Corn. Bo Ellis brings it back to the Marquette forecourt. They're going after the ball, North Carolina. We're down to 1:38 to go in the first half. 9-point lead for Marquette. Boylan driving. Up and in. And the basket counts as he drove. Schuster was there in front of him. Jimmy Boylan on the drive.
The foul will be on the driver Boylan. Interestingly, here's a man that wanted to go to North Carolina. Called Dean Smith. Dean Smith said, I have Phil Ford. You wouldn't play that much. Why don't you give Al McGuire a ring? Dean Smith might regret that phone call tonight.
33-22. McGuire yelling out. That was a foul on Boylan, his first. Each team has 7 team fouls now with 1:29 to go in the half. And Schuster, a senior from Richmond, Virginia, a deadly free throw shooter who hit 80% of his free throws this year, is at the line, especially against Kentucky in the second half in the Eastern Finals at College Park, Maryland.
Kurt, that makes him 23 out of 26 in the tournament, and Phil Ford is 20 out of 21. You dare not foul the Carolina guards.
Real pressure shooting in tournament competition. Whitehead had the loose ball. Marquette in possession. 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. Marquette leading by 10. Lee goes all the way and has it. That's a great drive by Lee. 35-23. He lost Schuster out in front, just kept going. 13 points for Butch Lee. Ford, Toon on him. Marquette moving very quickly in the zone. Ford passing off to Yannicker. Yannicker drills it, 35-25. 10-point lead for Marquette. Less than a minute to go. Marquette will probably come down and try and get the last shot. Jimmy Boylan with the ball. Ford trailing him.
Oh, McGuire almost fell off his chair. He's really unhappy about something. Leaned back and almost went over backwards.
Ellis underneath to Whitehead. He hits it 37-25. What's McGuire unhappy about here? 37-25 Marquette. He has a fired up team out there trying to win the last game for him. Schuster to Ford. Ford back to Schuster. Schuster to Yannicker. Yannicker has it 37-27. 10-point lead. Marquette coming down. Butch Lee will probably try and move it around and get the last shot. And Lee is fouled on the floor there. He is fouled by Phil Ford. He's trying to snake that ball away from him.
The 2 men named on the coach's second-team All-America at guard position. Lee matched against Ford. And you see Ford didn't quite have that full set of both feet as Lee tried to slither around him. Boy, that's a very difficult call for the official.
I don't think you can have a second-team All-American backcourt. I think you have to have 4 backcourt men and a first-team All-American.
I'll take these 2 guards and 3 chemistry majors, and I'll go to work on anybody.
Right. 38-27, Marquette. Butch Lee, the high of the game. He now has 14 points. Gary Rosenberger comes in, going out as Jerome Whitehead.
There's a move with 7 seconds left. They want to get quicker guards and try to stop Carolina from getting the final shot of this half.
Almost like two platoon basketball on this move. 39-27 Marquette. Bill Ford hustling down 4, 3, passing to Yannickers up. The tip was no good, and that's the end of the first half here. From the Omni in Atlanta. At the half, Marquette roaring away to a 39-27 halftime lead. Now we'll return you to our studios for this message. Marquette on top by 12, and Yannicker gets the harem back again. It's Waller Davis. Right now, Marquette's in a man-to-man.
Kurt, they're just going to do this for a couple of times down the court to let North Carolina keep them off balance.
O'Corin has the shot. Michael O'Corin. That makes it 39-28. Marquette. Carolina's been a good comeback team in this postseason tournament. They were behind Notre Dame by 15. Butch Lee going all the way. O'Corin blocks the shot. Starts the fast break. 3-on-1. Davis pulls up. And a foul call. Waller Davis pulled up on the 3-on-1 from the right wing. And McGuire's
What happened, Kurt? Mike O'Corin picked up his dribble there, actually double dribbled right in front of Al, and Al's not going for that one.
Al appealing to the fans behind him, saying, even I could have called that one. Did anyone up there in the crowd see him?
Bill Neary committed his first foul. And, of course, the first team foul of the half. Waller Davis, 39-30. North Carolina scored the first 3 points of this half. 39-31 Marquette. Carolina putting on the all-court press. Jimmy Boylan works against 4. Here's Butch Lee now. A sister on him. North Carolina in a man-to-man. Lee. Tar Heels going out after him. The drive. Here he missed. Up with the ball is Davis to Kuster. Kuster in a hurry to O'Corin. O'Corin back to Kuster. Now O'Corin. He hits it. 39-33, and Marquette quickly calls timeout. They want to talk it over. Carolina hot at the start of the second half. We'll take a timeout. 39-33 Marquette.
We'll give you the rest of the details when we get a break in the action.
Marquette against the all-court press. North Carolina scored 6 consecutive points for the opening of the second half. Marquette's lead now is 6. Bo Ellis, spin around jumper. He has a 41-33. Here's a beautiful touch on the ball. 10 points for senior Bo Ellis.
There's the zone, Kurt. It was one time down the court.
They're right back in the 2-3. Ford penetrating. Davis had a foot in the shot there momentarily.
Bo Ellis did the job on him.
Kuster outside. Ellis tipped it. O'Corin underneath. Freshman has it. What a tournament he's having as freshman. 31 points on Saturday, 12 points tonight to lead North Carolina. 41-35, Marquette. 2 minutes gone in the second half. Kuster staying right with Butch Lee. Jump ball on the 5-second roll.
You see Al McGuire really upset with a 5-second call there. We're going to see the jump ball coming up right here. Al really upset. The double dribble got him the first time. He promised no technical, Kurt, but he better sit down.
Yeah, he tapped one way, but when he gets fired up, his emotions take over.
Remember that technical on the bench is a 2-shotter, so that's be extremely important for him to sit down.
Kuster spreads him out against the zone. Waller Davis to Michael Corrin, his jumper. He hits it. 41-37, and the Carolina fans are on their feet as a freshman is now leading North Carolina with 14. And he's been the gun for him in his second half.
Marquette badly needs to score. Carolina has all the momentum.
Butch Lee trying to twist away, and Kister fouls him.
Here's that address for the tickets for the NCAA next year at the St. Louis Arena. $28 each for the tickets, 4-ticket limit per order. Address it to the arena, 5700 Oakland Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. Remember, don't mail it before April 1st.
McGuire's not worrying about that address. 1-1 on each team on the fouls. Marquette up underneath the foul call. Bernard Toombs up to tap it in. A pushing off call on Toombs.
Boy, there have been 3 critical calls, all against Marquette, and McGuire wants timeout. He can't believe what's happening to him. Look at him.
McGuire calls another timeout, and we'll be back here to score now. Marquette 41, North Carolina 37. North Carolina hit only 41% in the first half, and as Dick Enberg pointed out, they shot over 50% all year long. Phil Ford brings it down. We have 2 team fouls in Marquette, 1 on North Carolina here in the early moments of the second half. Marquette ahead by 4. Still in the zone, Marquette. Ford to Davis. Davis plays his man, gets it out front to Kuster. Kuster, he hits it. 41-39. North Carolina's cut the lead to 2. Puts Lee down court.
Kurt, what's so important here is that Marquette needs to be in the lead to stay in that zone, because North Carolina will pull them out with 4 quarters if they ever get the lead.
Carolina hanging right on him. Boylan passing to Whitehead. Whitehead missing underneath, missed the tip. Up for the ball with Jimmy Boylan. Marquette sets it up again. Bernard Toombs. No. And here's Walter Davis with it for North Carolina. Down to Phil Ford. Now the Tar Heels have a chance to tie it. Davis up and good. 41-all.
Oh my, what a comeback by Carolina.
6 points for Walter Davis. They're on their feet. All those Carolina blue and white banners waving.
North Carolina goes zone of their own. They're going to try to force Marquette now to take some outside shots and take away from one-on-one action by Butch Lee.
Inside to Boella, stolen by Kuster, slapped away. It'll be North Carolina's ball. Bill Ford will throw it in. Coming in is Tom Zalagaris. Going out is John Kuster for North Carolina.
4.5 minutes. Carolina's outscored Marquette 14-2.
Ford to Zalagaris. There's O'Corn in the corner. Marquette still in the zone.
They've changed that zone, though, Kurt. They're 1-2-2 again, trying to get those open areas shut down.
Yoniker. O'Corn. Whitehead rebounded for Marquette. Butch Lee brings it down against Zalagaris. Ford trying to steal it. Boylan outside. He hits it for Marquette. Maybe that'll get Marquette going now. 43-41 Marquette. 1-2-2 zone Marquette. Davis. Ford. Cross to O'Corn. 14.5 minutes to play in the national championship game. There's Davis. He has it. Game tied, 43-all. Davis has 8 points. He'll go down as one of the best all-around players in North Carolina history. Rebounding, passing, shooting. Marquette's ball out. 2 subs are coming in. Seth Sisson replaces Yoniker, and number 40, Bruce Buckley, checks in for Mike O'Corn.
Obviously, the thinking here, Kurt, is this game's going to be settled way down the wire. Dean Smith wants fresh troops.
The point zone now, 1-3-1 zone for North Carolina. Now it's back to a 2-3.
Right, they're matching up with it.
That foul call on number 40, Bruce Buckley. That'll be the second team foul on North Carolina. Marquette has 2. North Carolina came into this title game with a 15-game winning streak. Marquette nearly did not make the postseason tournament. They had a dry spell just after the middle of the year.
Look for the lob pass inside.
Stolen by Zalagaris. Zalagaris 2-on-1, took the shot and made it. He had Phil Ford open and didn't see.
That's their biggest lead.
That's the first time in the early minutes that North Carolina's been in the lead. Marquette has led 99% of this game. Now they're behind. Boylan driving. Shots up. Off the rim. Bo Ellis retrieves it. Ellis fall away jumper, no good. Walter Davis up for the rebound, and he's fouled by Jimmy Boylan.
Kurt, don't be surprised to see Dean Smith hang on to that ball for a few minutes now to force Marquette to play a little man-to-man.
Yeah, they're riding the boards, and in this case, Marquette found themselves boxed out, and Jim Boylan, after taking the shot, Whitehead had his hand on it, and Ellis retrieves. He gets a good shot out of it, but on the follow-up, Boylan trying to come in and get it away from the bigger trees, and he picks up the foul on Davis.
His second, team third.
Third team foul on Marquette, 2 on North Carolina. Phil Ford down.
Al McGuire anticipated
Man-to-man.
4 corners, so he went man-to-man. Boy, I'll tell you, some great coaching strategy.
That shot just off the back of the iron. Whitehead cleared the board, and Marquette comes down with a chance to tie it. Just under 13 minutes to play. Ellis to Cone. Cone hits it, a beauty. 45 all, we're tied. 12:40 to go in this national title game. Phil Ford right back again. And Marquette's in a 1-2-2 zone. Now Carolina goes to the 4-corner. They're in their famous 4-corner offense. A man in each corner out in front, and Phil Ford in the middle. Now, as long as Marquette does not come out after the ball, they'll just hold it out there.
Right, and they'll have to come out with at least 2 men. You see they're coming out with all 3, but Al is not playing man-to-man. He's just coming out to force the tempo, but he's still in the zone.
Attacking from the weak side. Phil Ford is what makes this offense go. He dribbles all over the court, around the middle, and feeds it off to the men on the side. Now then he'll flip in from the side or out in front. There's Ford. Off he goes. Now they start it over again. 4 corners. They get booed for this by the fans, but they can really protect the lead, although they don't have a lead right now. This is a tie game, 45 all, with 11 minutes and 38 seconds to go. They did this against Las Vegas and Nevada and against Kentucky to preserve lead, each time with about 15 minutes to play.
Of course, Kurt, the rules of basketball state that when it's a tie game, the defensive club has to come out and force the action. That's why Al cannot stay back in that tight zone like he was before. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Gisher can also handle the middle. North Carolina's outscored Marquette 18-6 in this half. This gets to be a real cat and mouse game. They've had it 1 minute now without taking a shot. We're down to 11 to play in the game. The score tied, 45 all. Al McGuire's yelling some instructions out to his team. That was ticked away by Boylan to force him bring it across again.
Now Al tells them to go back in, stay in the zone, and just come out as they have to. He doesn't want to see Ford
Now he
have
waves
an
him out.
opportunity.
He just waved him out again. Dean Smith yelling something.
Well, we're seeing real cat and mouse now, Kurt. What Al's doing is saying stay in the zone, just come out in order to be technically within the rule.
When will Carolina take its first shot off the 4-corner?
I don't think they're going to want to take a shot until Al goes straight man-to-man defense.
Now they just said speed it up. I just saw over in the bench. Dean Smith says roll it, speed it up a little bit. Now they're out of it now.
Well, they're both trying to determine what the defense is.
Now they go back into the 4 corners.
Look at McGuire.
Bring him out. Come on out, boys. Go get him.
Like Leonard Bernstein, a little more from the woodwinds now. And then he says, I want to hear a little brass.
Give them each a baton.
I'll be honest, what?
There it is. Blocked by Ellis. Marquette ball. They went 2 minutes without taking a shot. They missed, and Marquette has it. Now Marquette brings it down in a tie game. 45 all, 9.5 to play.
It's a little stall game of their own. Marquette uses a different type of stall, but it's the same type of offense.
North Carolina to man again. Go in there, says McGuire. Let's go get one. Bernard Jones out in front to Bo Ellis. We're approaching 9 minutes to play. 3 team fouls to Marquette, 2 on Carolina. Ellis picked up the loose ball. And they've had the ball over a minute without taking a shot.
Bo Ellis has made about 3 or 4 smart plays, and that's what we talked about at the start of the show. He may be one of the smartest forwards in college basketball.
Billy, it looks as if they're almost willing to say, okay, let's play to a tie game last minute, play for a 1-minute ball game.
There it is. Boylan underneath. He hits it. Marquette lead 47-45. 45. A beautiful twisting layup by Jimmy Boylan. He was under the backboard and had to come out.
Now you'll see the zone again by Marquette. North Carolina has to attack.
Yeah, they're behind now. Houston starts them moving. 47-45 Marquette. Just a little over 8 minutes to go. Marquette led by 12 at halftime. Snap Susan off to Walter Davis. He can't hit it. Whitehead was not there, and that was Bernard Cone who took the rebound, the big sophomore. Well, they grabbed the last 2 rebounds. They converted the last one into a basket. Let's get into this one. Lee driving. Lee up with a short jumper. It is no good. Walter Davis rebounds quickly down to Phil Ford. Ford on the gallop. Pulls up, lets the jumper go. Can't get it. Right back to Phil Ford again. Ford feeding, throws it away to Butch Lee, and Marquette has the ball. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Marquette leading 47-45.
Ford may have looked bad there, Billy, but boy, that was great defense. He just had no options.
That's right, he got down in the land of the Giants.
Ellis, he threw it away. There's Phil Ford back in. He crashes into the crowd. He saved the ball, but it's back to Marquette. Ford is down under his own basket. He's coming back on the court. What an effort by Phil Ford. They call time to see if he's all right.
Hey, a real gesture by Al McGuire there. Told the referee, hey, wait a second. Let's stop the action here. Let the kid get back on the court. Really, that's great sportsmanship there.
McGuire says, you all right, Phil?
A lot of class.
Here it is again. Ford trying to get that long lead pass. 2 great All-Americans. Lee waits. He knows he has only the one option. Look at that Ford. He sets a new long jump record. Now he's about 25 feet off the court, went over a chair, and he's okay, thank goodness.
7 minutes to play. Marquette ball. They're leading 47-45.
North Carolina trying to press half court with a zone.
Michael Corrin steals that ball. That was a bad pass in by Butch Lee. A real gamble. A lob right into heavy traffic.
I don't think he recognized the defense, Kurt.
Zalagaris. Corrin has checked in, and this is Colescott, number 20. Phil Ford has been given a rest. He's had a hyperextended elbow. He may have re-injured it. We don't know. Double team on him. Walter Davis lets it go, and a foul call on the shot as he let it go from the far side with 6:22 to go. Walter Davis will go to the line. That is the 4th team foul of Marquette. The 3rd on Bo Ellis. Bo had 2 early quick fouls, and this is his first one since the opening 3 minutes. Now they've changed it. They changed it to Jimmy Boylan. Jim Boylan, they say. Not Bo Ellis. Walter Davis has 9 points tonight. 47-46. He can tie it with this free throw.
Kurt going back again. Dean Smith make a calculated gamble. His team made a tremendous run with a lot of pressure and attacking the zone well. They got the lead, and of course then they hung on to the ball for a few minutes. I would say that if he gets that opportunity again, he may go full blast and stay that way.
Davis ties it. Phil Ford's back in the game, replacing Colescott. All court press for North Carolina. We have 6:20 to play. It's a tie game. Lee going one-on-one against Zalagaris. Foul call on Zalagaris. Number 32. Zalagaris, a junior from Livonia, Michigan. Butch Lee at the line. Zalagaris is not one of those great athletes, but he stays over after practice for a couple of hours. And
Lee at the line to shoot 2.
Quite a competitor. Butch Lee shooting 2. He's the high of the game with 15. They've held him scoreless in the second half, and Butch makes it 48-47 Marquette.
Came to New York City with his family when he was 4 years old. You saw him in Montreal, Kurt, the incredible 35-point performance.
Kuster just came in to replace Zalagaris. Butch Lee puts his team ahead 49-47. North Carolina behind again. We're coming up to 6 minutes to play. 6 more minutes for the national title. Works against the zone. There's Davis. There's Waller Davis. Up, off the rim. Up to the ball is Butch Lee. Marquette will bring him down now with a 2-point lead. Great move by Jimmy Boylan. Goaltending called on Waller Davis. What a reverse dribble by Jimmy Boylan. Watch this slick dribble and change of direction.
Here's Boylan, a heady player, and he has played a marvelous floor game. He got there soon enough that even Davis's great lead wasn't in time. Goaltending, and Marquette, having relinquished the lead, is now ahead by 4.
And we'll be back here in Atlanta with the score: Marquette 51, North Carolina 47.
Top men golfers, $235,000 in prize money at the Greater Greensboro Open. That's next weekend, 3 o'clock on Saturday, 2 o'clock Sunday.
North Carolina going against a 1-2-2 zone. They're behind by 4. 5:20 to play. The high of the game is Butch Lee with 17. O'Corn is high for North Carolina with 14. They're trying to get a good shot selection. Best shot they can get. This is what you have to do. There's Phil Ford up. No good. Coming down is Butch Lee. Watch him go to work on Kuster. Spins it up. Rebounded. Davis kicks it out to Ford. Right back to Carolina. Carolina to Davis. 4:40 to go now. Kuster raising man. Up he goes again on a double bump, and he hits it. 51-49. That's the way to hang up on that one. He had 2 men up in the air and out of the way. North Carolina puts the all-court press on. Marquette ahead by 2. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Important thing, Kurt, too. Neither team in a 1-and-1. Fouls on Marquette, 3 on North Carolina. Not very many for a half.
Bo Ellis goes. Ellis, the basket does not count. No basket. Foul on his drive.
Smart play by John Kuster to go ahead and cut that one off.
That's all he could do. And what an amazing agility the big man showed. He drove from out in front like a little man that time. Bo Ellis.
Here's a case where a foul cost North Carolina nothing, and it saved an easy 2 points by Ellis as Kuster left his man to help out Ellis, who had beaten O'Corn.
How many times, Kurt, do you see guys on great teams that statistically don't do much, but mentally are the guys that create championships? Kuster's one of those kind of guys.
He's a very heady player. And so is a Boylan, who's going to throw this ball in. Jimmy Boylan. The score, 51-49. Marquette, which had the poorest record in the Final Four, but they hit their peak when they needed it in the postseason tournament. They played their finest ball the last 5 games. That's when it counts in this NCAA tournament. Team is playing the best at that time. That foul is called on Kuster, fouling Butch Lee.
Lee never losing control of the ball. Boy, he knew where that pumpkin was. Again, tough call. You look at this yourself, and how do you go? Kuster putting the pressure on defensively. Now he's moving into his man, and Lee had to step on him. So the foul on Kuster. He picks up 2 in a hurry, and now we're down under 4 minutes, Kurt.
If Kuster had both feet on the floor and facing, squaring off against Lee, it would have been a charge. But he has been taken on an angle.
Floor is very slippery in that part of the court. It'd be smart for Marquette to call it out and get that wiped off because nothing but bad things can happen. There it is.
Slips again, Jimmy Boylan. We're down to 3:43 to play, and they bring the towel out.
Kurt, we might explain with the rain in Atlanta this afternoon and tonight, there are some holes in the Omni roof and a few spots hitting the floor, and Billy was commenting on that before the game. Let's hope it doesn't hit the hardwood because you see the results immediately. Very dangerous.
2 years ago, we were in San Diego, NBC, covering the NCAA championship tournament. One of the most dramatic college games I've ever had the privilege to broadcast. Overtime, UCLA beat Louisville. A classic college game. Then in the finals, John Wooden's last game, saying goodbye to college basketball. His team getting the going-away gift, the national title. Marquette's trying to do this tonight for their coach, Al McGuire. Dean Smith will go on. But Al McGuire's last game tonight. Are we going to have another dramatic turnaround? Here's Waller Davis down on the steal. Schuster out in front. Schuster's playing with 4 fouls, by the way. North Carolina trying to tie it up. 3.5 minutes to play. It's a smart team, very well coached, both of them. They're not going to be taking any wild shots. Time to take the good shots is when you're behind. Yannicker, Schuster, Ford, O'Corin, Davis in there right now. Moving that ball around. Gets that 2-3 zone. Deflected away and out of bounds. 3 minutes to play, 2:59.
Like a great book, Kurt. No matter how the chapter ends, you've got 2 wonderful stories. On which side will the fans be cheering loudest?
Marquette led by 12 at the half. They're leading by 2 now. Nevada of Las Vegas won the opening game tonight to win 3rd place. Threw it away. Schuster threw it away, trying to get it into a Cora. A costly turnover for North Carolina. Marquette coming down. 2.5 minutes to play. And Marquette wants a timeout to talk it over. They now have 2 timeouts left. North Carolina has 5 timeouts left. And Billy and Dick will discuss what we might see here in the last 2.5 minutes. Butch Lee will throw it in. 2:29 to go. Marquette ahead, 51-49.
Rosenberger is in for Marquette.
They want the quick little man in there to change direction and get this ball. And Whitehead will come in as soon as they get a chance. Got it into Bo Ellis. Lee, that's Dudley on him, Dudley Bradley. Lee goes.
That's going to be all for Schuster. Here's one of the great players.
Yep.
The quickness of Lee and his strength. He beats Bradley Schuster again as he has all night, trying to help out on defense. Reaching in, picks up his 5th personal foul. The senior in his last game disqualified on that 5th personal foul. And what an athlete he has been for the University of North Carolina. Senior from Richmond, Virginia. John Schuster has given the Tar Heel fans many great thrills.
Dean Smith said he's one of the headiest players he's ever coached.
Be a great coach himself someday, I think, Kurt.
He will. He's that type. We're seeing right now what a one-on-one player like Butch Lee can do to you when he's ahead. When you try and cover him one-on-one, he's now starting to draw fouls. Look at him go to work in that court. They must have a lot of condensation here and moisture dripping down from the roof. That was the 16th foul on North Carolina. Marquette has 4. There are 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Colescott. Dave Colescott came in to replace Schuster. Schuster will be missed not only for his ball handling ability, but for his defensive ability. He's never missed a game in North Carolina. Schuster, and he's on the bench now for the final game of this season. Semi-stall right here by Marquette. 2 minutes to play. Marquette leading. Jerome Whitehead came back in. Half foul's called on Dudley Bradley.
They fouled the right man, though, Kurt. The worst free throw shooter on the Marquette team is Jerome Whitehead.
He's had only 55% of his free throws this year. Colescott goes out. Bill Ford's back in. Jerome Whitehead at the line shooting 1-1. 1 minute 56 to play. Will it be Marquette or North Carolina? Each club averages about 25 wins a year. And we'll be back at courtside right after we tell you the score. Marquette 51, North Carolina 49. 1:56 to play. Later on, we'll be selecting the most valuable player of this game. The Gillette Track 2 Scholarship Award will be given. A $5,000 check will be sent to the school in the player's name. And the Track 2 certificate is a personal symbol of his outstanding play tonight. Jerome Whitehead, who's hit only 55% of his free throws. He's from Waukegan, Illinois, a junior. He has that one. 52-49, Marquette. 3 for 3 for Whitehead tonight. And 10 out of 11 for Marquette. He hit them both. 53-49. Marquette ahead by 4. 8 points for Whitehead. Fourth. Walter Davis let the ball slip out of his hands and out of bounds.
But it was Butch Lee deflected it. Kurt got just enough of it that it looked like he couldn't handle it. Hit the line of the pass had been thrown off just enough to fool Davis. Again, Lee making a big play.
Butch Lee will inbound it. Gets it into Bernard Cone, and Cone is hit in the face. Been hit in the face. Lee is saying to him, they're this kind of team. They argue among themselves. I asked Al McGuire if he ever had any fist fight with his players. He said plenty of time.
Let's see it again. It appears that Toon got a finger in the eye. Yeah, O'Corn caught him.
Scratch.
And see, he's trying to protect himself, and O'Corn doesn't know that he's hurt. He's trying to tie him up. And Lee's saying, hey, let's take it easy. And Toon is mad because he doesn't feel so good. And Lee and Toon argue.
I got hit in the face, Butch.
That's right.
Butch was mad because he wouldn't give him the ball.
You know, it's interesting that Hank Raymond said one philosophy that I will continue with Al McGuire is the fact that I will let my players argue with me. I'm going to yell at them, but they have the right to yell back. What if they call this a foul on Toon? That would be unbelievable. I can't believe they'd call a foul on Toon in this spot.
I got a kick out of McGuire. He's trying to say, boys, take it easy. Take it calm. And he's raging up and down the sidelines himself. Dean Smith, we're trying to find out here.
Now, here's a case where McGuire said, listen, I was a good sport when Ford went off the other end. I thought he might be hurt. I had my fellas hold up here. Now, the same incident, my man's hurt. What's happened here? He's going to get, he knows he's going to get that aircraft carrier back in the game, Jerome Whitehead. Well, apparently it must be a technical foul or a double foul.
This is Bernard Cone. Now Whitehead is checking back in. And going to the line. They're trying to unscramble the situation here. Walter Davis standing by.
Well, it was O'Corn and Toon who were involved in the play. Toon has shot a technical foul, and it appears now that North Carolina is going to shoot one, although the two officials are going to make certain.
It was a 1-and-1 that Toon shot. They called a technical against Toon.
Gee, with a big important game on the line, that's really a rough call.
And Dean Smith now starting to argue with the officials on the court.
See, what makes that a bad call against Marquette with a 4-point lead, Kurt, is that not only will they get the points, but the ball out of bounds. And Dean Smith apparently wants even more than that.
That's Bill Guthridge in the dark suit, the North Carolina assistant. We have 1 minute and 45 seconds to play. Watch. Oh, here's a play, Dick.
All right, as we saw before, O'Corn accidentally swipes at Toon, hits him in the face. Technically, that's a foul, but no one can see that. We see it because it's slow motion. Toon says, I'm hurt. And any person who feels that kind of pain, and especially around the eye, can't be very happy. And what happens out of that, Toon in his argument must have said something to create a technical foul. They called a foul apparently on O'Corn. He has missed, or on O'Corn, and that shot, the Toon shot, has been missed 1-and-1. Now the technical shot by Walter Davis of Carolina.
He's shooting 2. 53-50. He has another one.
Well, then it must have been a technical against McGuire because a bench technical is a 2-pointer. And the ball.
51 and the ball. Maybe.
Or a jump ball. Billy Packer can straighten this out for us, Kurt.
They're going to jump it.
O'Koren for reaching in. There was a foul on O'Koren for reaching in on Bernard Toom. That was called, okay? After Bernard had the foul, he came swinging back with the elbow for a flagrant foul. Now, that is why there was a two-shot technical taken by North Carolina.
Foul,
so it's a one foul on O'Koren, then a flagrant on
Toom. There goes
Toom.
Cone in. Missed the shot. They dive for the ball. Look at this. 53-51. Marquette ahead. A minute 30 to go. And a foul's on O'Koren. Mike O'Koren. Jimmy Boylan goes to the line for one-on-one. They never did explain it to the crowd here. They had a foul on O'Koren, a one-on-one that was missed, and then Tone in that big mob scene over there evidently threw a flagrant elbow for a deliberate foul. A deliberate foul is 2 shots.
I didn't see that even on the replay, Kurt.
Didn't either. Jim Boylan at the line, shooting 1-1. Marquette leading by 2.
Boy, the pressure on these kids. Now they're only 20, 21. Here it is for the national championship, and every time you toe that stripe, you'll remember it the rest of your life.
The last overtime NCAA championship game was in 1963. Loyola of Chicago beat Cincinnati 60-58. Boylan at the line. Joniker's back in the game for Carolina. Boylan makes it 54-51. Marquette.
He's their best free throw shooter, 43 out of 47 all year.
He had them both, and free throws are keeping Marquette ahead. 55-51. They've made 11 out of 13. There's your time clock. North Carolina has a minute 20 to pull this one out. Davis up to the shot. Bo Ellis has the rebound. Ellis covered from behind by Mike O'Koren. Bo Ellis with a mighty rebound. Looking up at the clock. He was fouled from behind by O'Koren.
Here it is again. Davis trying to thread his way up the alley. Did a great job controlling the ball. Partially blocked by Whitehead. Look at Ellis grab that rebound. You have to crawl inside his uniform to get the ball away from him on that job.
That's the 4th foul on O'Koren. McGuire talking to his 2 ball handlers. That's Dean Smith to his team. 1 minute, 9 seconds remaining. At the line is Bo Ellis. Bo Ellis shoots 75% of his free throws. Leading Warrior rebounding and may win the national title here with deadly free throw shooting in the last 2 minutes. 11 points for Bo Ellis.
And it's free throw shooting that has gotten Carolina here.
They hit him 4 in a row they made now. Pass down to Waller Davis. 57-51. Davis goes and hits the shot. 57-53 Marquette. North Carolina calling timeout, a minute 4 to go. All right, they put the all-court press on. And the foul is on O'Koren. That's all for him. He's out. Mike O'Koren fouls out.
He had to sacrifice himself. This is a matter of playing the clock, too. 2 seconds consumed in that inbounds pass. O'Koren committing the foul to stop the clock. Carolina can only hope that Marquette will not be successful at the free throw line.
Marquette may win this national championship by making only 31% of their shots in the second half, while North Carolina's made 53%. O'Koren, the freshman, is gone. There he is, 31 points on Saturday against Nevada of Las Vegas. And he wound up with 14 tonight, scored 86 points as an 18-year-old freshman in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, any coach in the country just salivate thinking about having him for 3 more years. What a player.
North Carolina, you'll remember, won it 20 years ago. They've been in the Final Four 5 times. Al McGuire lost to North Carolina State in the championship 3 years ago. Bo Ellis makes it 58-53. 1 minute, 2 seconds to go, and the Carolina crowd very quiet right now. Marquette across the way, up on their feet, roaring. You can see them over there. 59-53. Marquette in the lead. It'll take a furious rally. Davis up. Davis. Shot is no good. He'll go to the line. Walter Davis, the Olympian, he's in the top 5 of all-time North Carolina in scoring, rebounding, and assists. 59-54, the 4th leading scorer of all time in North Carolina history. By the way, Charlie Scott, Billy Cunningham are here watching this game tonight. Yoniker has the ball. 59-54. Ford off to Davis. Davis goes for the hoop. Foul again as he drove. A holding foul call.
Stay tuned for a 1-hour special program, Ali the Fighter, immediately following the conclusion of this championship basketball game on most stations, with the exception of the West Coast.
Foul gives Walter Davis 2 shots. 47 seconds, still time. 59-55, Marquette.
Longest minute of Al McGuire's life.
This is the second one, and Rosenberger has it. They triple team him, and Phil Ford fouled him from behind, but he had to. They got to take a chance that Rosenberger will come down and miss the free throw in the 1-on-1. Carolina will get the ball back again. The 3rd foul on Phil Ford. Now we're down, Dick, to 43 seconds remaining. Marquette leading 59-56. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Kurt Gowdy, Dick Enberg, Billy Packer back with you, the Omni in Atlanta. Jerome Whitehead checked in. They want him underneath for a rebound in case that free throw's missed.
McGuire has used his bench so beautifully in these little timeouts or breaks in the time.
He's used only 7 men. A shot by Rosenberger. Great free throw shooting by Marquette here in the clutch tonight. They have made 16 out of 18, 17 out of 19. North Carolina 11 out of 16, 61-56. Marquette steals the ball, down to Butch Lee. Lee goes for the layup and has it. 63-55. Marquette has won it, 30 seconds. Walter Davis. Foul call as he swept down the lane. When Lee sank that layup, he went roaring down the court. There's Al McGuire, his last college game ever. He says he will not go to a Marquette game as a spectator for exactly 1 year. Then after that, he will be Marquette's greatest fan.
As Al put it simply, it's like being on a wonderful merry-go-round for all this time. The merry-go-round stops. I'm off the carousel, and it'll keep going, and Hank Raymonds will keep the program going, but it's another storybook, Kurt. It's sports, it only can happen, it seems, in this wonderful world in which we work. A man who didn't think he'd even be in the tournament. He gave up on even having a chance to be in the tournament. Here he is, 26 seconds away from completing that impossible dream.
He said he drove his team down the stretch like a jockey, taking the whip from his right hand to his left hand. They lost to Michigan their last game of the year. They lost 7 games coming into this tournament. But how they did it when it counted. They beat Kansas State by a point in the regional. They beat North Carolina of Charlotte Saturday as the buzzer went off. And now they're leading by 8 points with 26 seconds. Butch Lee high with 19 points. Walter Davis has 16. And right now, Dick, I think you'd have to name Butch Lee the most valuable player of this game.
A marvelous athlete, an All-American, and he almost beat the U.S. single-handed. Butch Lee wins our Track 2 Scholarship Award.
There it is, the Rosenberger. They go after him. Marquette, there's a foul. Incidentally, another Al McGuire story. The opening practice this year at Marquette, Butch Lee was dribbling around, and McGuire stopped the practice and said, "Butch, I know you got 35 points against the U.S., but what would mean more to me if you'd won the game and scored 2. Remember that." And he said, "I did it in a little psychology. I was trying to bring him down a little bit."
You know, another point that he makes too, Kurt, that's kind of interesting. He says, you know, when you have a good team, you recruit 5 good players out of high school. That means that you have 5, the opponents have 5. 40-minute game, you divide 40 by 10 minutes. Al McGuire's mathematics are that means each player gets the ball 4 minutes. He says, What do you do the other 36 minutes? Do you play defense? What do you do away from the ball? Do you rebound? It's the man who can play the other 36 minutes of the game. That's Al McGuire's player.
There's his replacement next year. The new coach in the light tan suit, Hank Raymond, will be the coach and athletic director. McGuire in the dark suit. Up above them, look at those Marquette fans.
And while we look at the yellow pom-poms that celebrate in the Marquette section, we want to remind you to stay tuned. A 1-hour special program, Ali the Fighter, Muhammad Ali, immediately following the conclusion of this championship game on most stations, with the exception of the West Coast.
All the Marquette Warriors have to do now in the next 19 seconds is protect their 8-point lead. Marquette has won 20 or more games for 11 consecutive seasons, but so has Dean Smith. He's averaged 25 wins a year. And when we opened the show tonight, we told you what a matchup. Two of the elite of college basketball, two big-name coaches, and one of them coaching his last game. Didn't get a better dramatic backdrop than that. Here's Jimmy Boylan to make it 64-55. What free throw shooters this Marquette team has been. Very sad North Carolina team sitting over there in their bench. 65-55. Down it comes to Della Garrett. Marquette, the national champ. Walter Davis got it. Look at Davis hang in there. 65-57. He'll almost certainly be an outstanding throw. And North Carolina still not giving up. Calls another timeout. And McGuire, who says, I'm an entertainer. I entertain the fans. He's never used a blackboard, a film, or a whistle in his coaching. Hank Raymond does the coaching. He says, I direct the entertainment.
You know, Kurt, looking at his face, we said last year, on his wall in his coaching office at Marquette University, he has a number of clowns' faces, pictures of clowns, and at times the man McGuire seems to be hiding behind a clown's mask, but beneath is a man with great spirit and fight, intelligence, charisma. He's a battler. He's off the streets of New York. It's going to be sad for us to say goodbye to Al McGuire, even in a happy moment.
Is he a con man? Is he a put-on? I
When
think
he
not.
won.
I saw him play in college. I saw him cover Bob. He was one of the dirtiest players I ever saw in the NBA. He had to be. He didn't have the ability. He was tough. One night, Cousy came out of the game. He said, the man beat me black and blue out there, but I didn't score many points. And so that's the way he's coached. His team defensively, scratch, claw at you, stop you. He's had to emphasize defense.
He's the kind of man, as one reporter put it, he would steal your wallet and then turn around and give it to you and smile as if to say, be careful. Dean Smith. Oh, almost completed the Big Quinella, the Olympics and the NCAA. He's been here 5 times, twice in the final game. And now he has to be wondering, oh, what a tough road this is. It started way back on October 15th.
Look at him. Rupp Schuster's had 16 years. Will not accept a transfer. McAdoo's the only one he ever took out of a junior college. And he, when Boylan wanted to come to North Carolina, he called Al McGuire and said, you should take Boylan. He's going to leave Assumption. I don't take transfers. That Boylan went to Marquette. And now Boylan's helped beat North Carolina tonight. We're ready to go with 11 seconds. Marquette about to win the National Collegiate Championship. Foul is called on North Carolina. Just a parade to the foul line now. Again, Marquette will go down and shoot a one-on-one. I'll tell you, both these clubs are lucky being in the final. 1-point win by North Carolina over the, look at that. McGuire, I think, is crying.
He won't let himself. It's tough for him to show his emotions. He would rather be out under his favorite tree all alone and thinking about this and counting the flowers and smelling a wonderful life. Thank you, Al McGuire. Oh, thank you for the many great moments you've given us.
He goes backpacking in New Zealand.
This is
Motorcycle rider. Very interesting man. Loves the out of doors. Marquette hits another free throw. And the new national champs lead by 9.
And you know who Al McGuire is crying for, not himself, his players. He wanted it for them.
10-point lead, 8 seconds to go. Deflected away. Marquette takes it out. Lee forced that turnover. Butch Lee is our most valuable player in the tone. Here comes Wallace Davis. What a hustler this Davis is. 2, 1. There's the gun. The basket counts. And Marquette has won the national championship. That was Dean Smith who came down. McGuire choked him. What a steal. This is, people say, how do you stay in sports this long, Gert? I'll tell you, this is why. This is why. This is what it's all about, the drama. The human personality that I don't think any other business can offer. Now look at the opposite side. A happy young senior climbing the net. This was an upset win. Not a big upset, but the way they did it by 8 points. And McGuire going off a winner. A winner. He's been a winner all the way.
Basketball's Don Quixote. The impossible dream is realized.